Hi guys, Paul here from Dad and Daughter Motorsport, and I'm here with David John, the CEO and founder of Team Kiwi Racing, and what a privilege it is to be with you, mate. So look, first of all, thank you for having us.
Pleasure.
Really appreciate that. Look, one of the first times I actually got to talk to, or the first time I got to talk to David was buying some merch, as I often do, and I was looking for my size and being a bigger unit, there was a bit of trouble there and I couldn't get on the website, and he actually reached out to me, had a phone call, and then we kind of had a little bit of a connection thing going there. You shared your story. I mentioned to you we've got a podcast and what we're about, and it was kind of a kindred spirits thing going there, so that was really neat.
Nice.
So yeah, that was choice. One of the main things I wanted to get into first here was Team Kiwi. They were the first all Kiwi team that ended up racing in the V8 Supercars, and as it so happened, it was at Bathurst, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was the first debut of a Kiwi team ever to compete in the Australian V8 Supercar Championship. So it was pretty special for New Zealand Motorsport, and also provided the opportunity for the late Jason Richards to kickstart his international motorsport career.
And what a career that was.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great foundation for him to go on for bigger and better things, and for a lot of Kiwi drivers to follow in the footsteps that foundation or that debut at Bathurst actually provided.
Yeah.
So 25 years on from there, we're here today, and we've got behind us, this is Jason's original V8 Supercar, the very car that we debuted at Bathurst.
Got a live memorabilia right there.
yeah, the very car we raced at Bathurst in 2000, so a special car. We've just spent the last 12 months rebuilding this vehicle, so a lot of people have helped out and brought a beautiful looking thing with a lot of history and a lot of memories back to life.
Yeah, and what a tour you've had. You've seen your Facebook channel, and your travels around have been significant, I must say. So
yeah, 3 months we've been on the road. So we've travelled the whole South Island, Taupo, Palmerston North, New Plymouth, Mansfield, Auckland. So we've still got a little bit to do between now and the end of the year, but it has been a long haul. 3 months is a long time to be on the road.
Mate, but you clearly are loving it.
Well, it's something we've always done. You've got to share these products. You really become the custodians of these vehicles, although we own them and we've funded them over the years. There's an element that the public, with their purchase of merchandise, hot laps, Bathurst tours, they've all contributed to making all these opportunities possible for the Kiwi drivers. So we always like to give back wherever we can. Yeah,
you guys are amazing. And speaking of Bathurst once again, so in October we've signed up Dad and Daughter Motorsport. We are going over with the team to Bathurst, so tell us a little bit what's in store for us over there.
Yeah, so we got our 20th Bathurst start. We'll be actually heading back to Bathurst with a couple hundred people. So an official Team Kiwi tour, which is good, even if I say so ourselves. I guess we've had enough experience over the last 20 years to fine-tune the Bathurst trip.
Yep.
Well, absolutely, and it is for a lot of people, and therefore you want to make sure that it's special, and we add a lot of behind-the-scenes, added value benefits to your tour. It's not just a tour that you go over there and your flights and your accommodation. It's the chopper flights around the track, getting in behind the scenes to the pit lane garages, being involved with the team, speaking with the drivers, the crew, the staff, welcome functions, so on and so on. So yeah, it's going to be special. Get back there, our 20th Bathurst start, as I said.
Wow.
You wouldn't have thought 25 years ago that we would ever be doing 20 Bathurst, let alone our first or second. So been a long journey over the last 25 years, but proud to be back there again, and we'll have a new car actually on the grid as well as a special bonus. There'll be a new car that will be rolling out. That we haven't really officially announced this yet, but we are probably now. That we'll have a Team Kiwi all black car, all black Kiwi team back on the grid at Bathurst 25 years on from when we first debuted there.
Amazing. Well, mate, and look, I've got to say it's one of my bucket list items, and to hear that it's going to be a bloody big bucket, I'm really quite happy about that. So
yeah, look, it is special. I think we've seen here over the weekend here at Christchurch that there's a lot of support, obviously, for the team still.
Yep.
They want to see a Kiwi team back on the grid at Bathurst, or part of the V8 Supercar Championship. So we're pushing hard to see if that's possible. Financially, it's a big step. So we'll continue to push and see if we can do that. But next, as I said, in October, at least we'll have a car at Bathurst, and then that car will then go to Adelaide to also run at Adelaide Street Race.
One thing I must say, for what it's worth, we're still a young channel, as it were, but as things develop and move on, we're going to keep on featuring you and following you and putting the word out there for your good story, mate. So we believe in you and want to do what we can to try and help that. So
I appreciate that, and that's what it is. It's a team for New Zealand. We've always remained committed to only putting Kiwi drivers in the car. And that comes at a cost to the team to do that. Whereas there's a lot of funding out of the Australian market that drivers will always bring a significant amount of money to secure their seats.
Yeah.
But we've supported now 33 drivers over the last 25 years to provide those opportunities. And when I say provide, it's car, the equipment, the running budget, the crash budgets. We haven't actually made our decisions on drivers as per who's got the biggest checkbook. It's been a selection of driver on merit rather than on a financial input from that particular driver. And therefore the team work a lot harder to obviously generate the revenue that we need to be able to continue to provide those opportunities.
Yeah. Hey, look, when we featured you on our pod the other night, we actually went through the drivers list that you've got on your website there, and what a significant big name list it is, with some real key drivers in there who are doing amazing stuff today. So tell us about, right now, Team Kiwi, obviously you're working very hard in developing drivers. You've been doing it for a while, but tell us about that journey.
Well, we've really been doing that for the last 25 years, ever since we even took the first drivers, Jason Richards and Angus Fogg, to Australia to the V8 Supercar Championship.
Yeah.
That was a development team. That was two rookies, and a rookie Kiwi team that went on to take the biggest race in this part of the world on. And we had a great result. Out of 54 starters, we finished 16th on debut. I don't think a lot of people really probably can understand or put that into perspective of how big an achievement that was on a debut outing for, as I said, rookie team, rookie drivers, driving a race car that really we hadn't had that much time in testing or developing, nor had we ever raced one.
Yeah.
So, and we'd finished at Bathurst now, past that debut season. We'd finished at Bathurst 3 times in the top 10. I think for a small Kiwi team with a small budget with rookie drivers, take him over to Australia's biggest race meeting to finish inside the top 10 3 times, and let alone do 20 Bathurst starts has been significant.
Oh mate, that's how Kiwis do it, baby. So we love that. And I must say, as a fan, even from back then, seeing our colours and the TKR logo whizzing around that track was very proud.
Yeah, thank you.
So look, as you can hear, the cars are starting their runs around behind us there. So what's next for Team Kiwi Racing?
Well, probably, as I alluded to, we're focused on returning to Bathurst. That's where it all started for us in 2000, so 26 years ago this October. But this year is really the 25th anniversary of our first full season in the Australian V8 Supercar Championship. So we're going to take a car back to Bathurst.
Yep.
As I said, all Kiwi team, Kiwi driver, Kiwi crew, Kiwi sponsors, all black livery. So it'll be a proud moment for us to have that on the grid at Bathurst. That will then go on to Adelaide, so we're going to run that at Adelaide as well. So we'll do 2 rounds in Australia, key rounds for the team this year. And then we need to really focus on what we're doing in 2027, which we're really halfway down the track of having that in place. So we'll discuss that a little bit later in the year.
And look, one little question that just popped in there as a personal note, mate. When do you get a break?
Well, you don't really. I mean, it's something that you've got to put your heart and soul into, as we have for the last 20 odd years. It just takes over every minute you got. You enjoy it, but it's challenging. It's the toughest thing that you've ever done. From a financial point of view, you're always consistently having to put everybody else and everything else first. But you use the meetings when you get to the meetings and when you catch up with people at the racetrack. A lot of the communication emails that come through that just keep you positive and keep you moving forward. It's always great to catch up with everybody that enjoys what you've been doing.
And I guess the other thing too, which clearly rings true for you, is when you're working as your day job, as it were, doing what you love and what your passion is, it just makes it so much easier. But look, we love what you do, mate. And look, again, thank you so much for having us.
No problem, appreciate it.
And all the very best. We'll selling lots of merch here, and for the trip coming up, looking forward to it. So thanks again, mate.
No problem, appreciate it very much.
Cheers.